Peanut butter cups, everybody.
Did you bring my M&Ms? Kristen actually accidentally bought peanut M&Ms. She accidentally bought peanut M&Ms.
I made brownies.
Are you allergic to peanut butter?
No, I like the peanut ones. She doesn't, so I got freaking.
I made brownies again.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I had to put them away because we kept eating them.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Once
The
you
brownie,
have,
Kristen, they're good.
Almond flour is so freaking good. No weed or nothing in my
A
tongue.
little bit of THC in there. BCB.
No, they're so
coconut
good.
sugar.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are allergic to coconuts.
No. No.
All right, everybody's here?
Everyone's here.
Okay, good. All right, great.
Full house.
All right, welcome to our Tarot Academy class every Wednesday night at Buddha Belly Records. Tonight we're going to be discussing the Nine of Wands. It continues Sagittarius season. This is the third class for Sagittarius season. So, like I always like to do, just dive into it. What does this card tell you, or how does it show you that it connects to Sagittarius?
Wands.
Wands of fire.
Okay, so we got the wands. So the wands can show that it connects to Sagittarius, right? Because why? Because it's fire.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Let's see. This is a stretch, but I know Sag is a mutable fire sign.
Okay.
So it's kind of in the middle, kind of wishy-washy type of thing. But I don't think I would think Sagittarius right away just by looking at the card. That's just me trying to think why it's connected to Sagittarius.
Okay. So, all right. Besides the Sagittarius,
Is it the?
go ahead.
Right, never mind.
You had a question?
No, I was gonna say, does the number 9 connect to Sagittarius at all in any way, or no?
That's a good one.
I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm going off stuff here.
Let's see.
Is it the ninth zodiac or something?
No, because Sagittarius is the
Wait, you?
10th sign, right? Because Capricorn is next, which is the. No, wait.
Oh, it is. It is. These Pisces is 12. Aquarius, Capricorn.
So it's a ninth?
Yeah.
Ninth. So yeah, there we go. Good one.
Very nice.
So it connects to number 9 because it's the 9th sign of the zodiac. Very good. See? That's good. Very good. All right, that's it, guys. So
All right, have a good
that's
night.
it. So I mean, honestly, I don't really think he's not like really balanced in the middle.
Right, that's why I was.
But something that I haven't noticed before, like we've pulled this card before readings, but look at his eyes. His eyes are like dead, like gazed out to like out here, like maybe because this card is a card about like work, but continued work.
His face
So-
is also red.
Okay.
That's a thing.
I think
Sunburn.
Rosacea.
the yellow, right? This yellow here could connect to the sun, right? So that could kind of show you that like little like sun fire. A little bit of a stretch, but what else do we see besides that? How does it connect to Jupiter? Jupiter's about expansion, right? It's a big planet, so there's there's multiple wands there. So that's one thing, right? The abundance of Jupiter and that energy.
Is there a reason why the middle wand is the tallest one? And then is there also a reason why he's grabbing the sixth wand? Does that mean anything?
Well, it could be grabbing the 9th wand too, right?
Oh, right. Doesn't matter which one, I guess.
You know, because, and I mean, I don't know. They look pretty even.
Yeah, they do, actually.
This one could be a little taller.
That one's like a
It could be. And we got a measuring tape. It's just like Obviously, it symbolizes he was definitely working, right? He's building something. He's trying to complete something.
Build a house or something.
He looks a little worn out, right?
Yeah. Tired.
So it could be like he has determination, tired but still working.
Yeah.
That's another thing how this card connects to. Just in your reading, it talks about maybe endurance, determination, courage, right? Sometimes when you've been through a war, you don't feel like continuing, right? You got 9, you just did 8. Now I got to put another huge wand into the ground. I've been working all day.
In the sun.
In the sun.
Sunburn on my face.
Sunburn, right? All of that.
He's got a white headband on because he's sweating so much.
Yeah.
And he also likes Nike.
Nike.
You know, Nike headbands. It was a stupid joke.
Oh,
Okay, excellent. All right, so let's continue here. Let's continue. So just a recap, so for people to understand Sagittarius. So it is the Archer, right? Okay, it's immutable fire sign, and it's ruled by Jupiter. Okay, so a little recap of anyone's first time here, so you understand what the Sagittarius energy is about. And the mantra for Sagittarius is I seek. Sagittarius, Jupiter ruling Sagittarius, and Sagittarius people are like, they're seekers. They like to go on adventures. You know, so harnessing that energy during this season is about being adventurous, maybe being a little more mutable, you know, not so fixed with the rigidness of how you operate in life, right? Because creativity comes from trying something new, using your imagination, right? Any questions on Sagittarius and the Archer? All right, so let's go to the next one. Okay. All right, so this is the part when I like to kind of compare two different cards and go over the keywords and the key phrase for the Nine of Wands. So the keyword, there's a lot of keywords for it. Resilience, persistence, courage, determination, boundaries, last stand, fatigue, but still standing. So meaning like, you ever go through something in your life and it's like you just want to lay down, you just want to just check out. But you got to get up and go to work. Or you got to get up and run a store, right? You got to do something. It's like that's what this energy is about. Persisting or going, pushing through when you're tired. Key phrase is you're battle worn, but you haven't given up. The finish line is within. Reach, hold strong. So it's like, it's almost there. That's what this energy is about. Does anyone know what planet is in Sagittarius for this card? Because each minor card has to do with a different planet within that zodiac sign. Can anyone guess?
Say it one more time.
Okay, so within tarot, you have the majors, right? So a lot of the majors connect to like zodiac signs or the elements. When you get to the minors are different degrees within that zodiac sign. So, and in those different degrees, there's different planets that are in Sagittarius. So right now, this card represents a different degree, I think 20 degrees within Sagittarius, but a specific planet is within it. Was it? You said?
Mars.
No, it's something way less, no, not Saturn. Something that has to do with intuition.
Pluto.
No.
Alright, I'm gonna stop naming planets now.
Neptune.
The moon.
Ah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's hard at first because you don't. There's nothing
The
that.
moon when I look at this.
Exactly. There's nothing that says that. And then now, just comparing the cards, you couldn't tell this card either. We just know that's 9 wands. But you do see.
Tree of life.
Oh, really? How? How so?
It's shaped as a tree of life.
Oh, you're saying with the. Okay. Yeah, this could be
Top
okay.
and bottom.
Yeah. All right. I like that. Yeah, you could have. Okay.
Most
Very.
of the voted deck is kind of like that with all the minor.
Yeah, because they. Okay. What else? Anything we see? Anything sticks out now having these two cards side by side?
This is a stretch, but so
A lot of stretches tonight.
if you look at the left, you see like a triangle on top, right? Like
Okay.
triangle left and right. So if you look at the right with the wands, like what if the middle wand is a lot closer to us, right? And then the shorter ones are actually just farther away. So it actually would create that triangle if you look at it from like from a different view.
The only thing is that it looks like they're all behind that line there.
Oh, yeah. Well, unless, yeah,
But
I don't know.
yeah, I think it's really hard to match up that
Yeah.
there.
It's tough.
Anything else? What does the moon mean? Like, what is, when you think of the moon and the moon's energy, from anyone that does full moon circles and stuff.
Reflection.
Was that?
Reflection.
Why reflection?
Kind of see yourself.
Also, like, when
Okay.
I think of the moon, I think of illumination or like the truth. Also think of like feminine energy. So, being like receptive. It makes me think of like, you know, obviously your intuition, but other like psychic gifts you could have.
Okay, that's good.
Creativity.
Okay, so then maybe these multiple wands could be psychic gifts, maybe?
Yeah, also like, you know, the moon is linked to creativity as well. So wands are could also be about like, you know, different creative gifts. I feel like since they're associated with, you know, the element of fire, fire is about creativity, passion, things like that nature. So.
Okay, that's good. That's actually pretty good right there. What else? How does resilience, persistence, courage, determination, how does that connect with gifts?
Using your gifts to navigate through any challenges helps build resilience.
Now, are your gifts something that you just naturally born with, or is it something you have to cultivate or work at?
Cultivate.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you could have natural gifts, but you have to tap in and cultivate them over time.
And it's like, how would you know you have natural gifts if you don't put yourself in positions to use the gifts, right?
Yeah.
So like someone could have a gift of drawing and making like beautiful art, but if they don't practice, right, or take chances in creating stuff and then displaying them, they would never know if they could become like a good artist, right?
Yeah.
This portion of Tower Academy is sponsored by Free Drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Anything else do we see? Any similarities, any differences right now with the two cards?
What do you got for us? Because I'm tapped out.
Tapped out?
Yeah.
What's the symbolism behind the triangles?
I mean, they could be, okay, symbols behind the triangles. Triangles connect to, like you said before, the tree of life. There's supernals. There's three supernals on the tree of life. So supernals are usually up top. They have Kether. They have Hokmah. That means the crown. This is in Hebrew. Hokmah means wisdom. And then Binah means understanding. So those make the three supernals up top on the height of the tree of life. So meaning kind of above where we're at right now. Right now we're in like the Malkuth, the kingdom area. We're in the manifested realm according to Kabbalah.
Yeah, so that's all we're missing on that one would be Malkuth, right? All the other ones are represented.
Yeah, because so what anyone remembers the tree of life, we have Malkuth is down here, and there's a path that goes up to Yesod, which again is the astral realm. So when you dream, and that's the realm that's ruled by Mars. I mean, the moon, actually, to tap into the moon. That's where you go to dream, and that's where you do magical work. When we do the astral temple here, that's where we're going. We're going to that sphere. It's called Yesod, which is ruled by the moon, which is also your subconscious mind. So that could be right here, and then you could go up to Netzach, that's victory, or the Venus area. This is Hod, right here. So that would make those a triangle. And then up top, you would have the heart center. So this could be Tiferet. And then this could be Gabora and Hesed, which is mercy. Jupiter, Mars, and the Sun. So within the Tree of Life, all the planets are there.
Okay.
But obviously, if you don't know the Tree of Life, it's hard to see that here. So next time maybe I'll put the Tree of Life picture on there too as well, so we kind of compare it and understand. But that's probably another whole other class for the Kabbalah.
There's also
And here?
Yeah, on the left side, the two triangles on the top are the, I think the fire sign, right? For, like, yeah. And then the bottom is the water.
So you're saying,
opposite?
okay, good. So you're saying that
No, it's not. Yeah.
no, you're saying that since it's an apex up triangle, it's fire.
Oh.
So then this also says fire, fire, water. Okay.
The bottom two are also going clockwise, and then the top one's going counterclockwise.
Oh.
How do you
Like with the
Like
tips
with
of
the
the
tips.
wands.
so you're saying this is clockwise?
That one would
This
be going counterclockwise.
counterclockwise?
If you're going in the direction of the black side of the wand, anyway.
Well, then that's his counter then, right?
Yeah, the top one would be counter, and the bottom two are going clockwise. But either way, they're reversed, whether it's forward with the white side or the black side.
I just got like snake, like following the light.
And it's interesting you say that too, because in Kabbalah, there's pictures of a snake coming up the Tree of Life. If you look at the Lover's card, there's a snake on the tree next to Eve, because you know the forbidden fruit where the snake gave her the fruit, right, to eat. So it's all symbolic. It's also the Kundalini energy. So it's also understanding that type of energy is within all of us. It's like a basically like a snake. It's down on lower regions, and it's usually just there, dormant. And some Eastern traditions, they do different like yogic practices to like breathing to make it ascend. But they say you should never do it without like having like a yogi or someone that's been doing it for years, because it could really mess you up psychologically if you raise your kundalini up prematurely, if you're not in a mental state to be able to handle the influx of those types of energy. So yeah, but the snake usually connects to that, and also ascending the Tree of Life. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, so now let's talk about the Nine of Wands and the Moon in Sagittarius. So astrological association, the Nine of Wands represents the Moon in Sagittarius. The meaning is it combines emotional instincts with the adventurous, optimistic, and resilient energy of Sagittarius. Reflects a deep need to persevere while maintaining hope and faith in the bigger picture. Because sometimes, you know, it gets tough, right? You go through stuff, and where does that inner hope come from? You know, what that helps you to get through different situations. And it's understanding too that the moon rules the tides, right? The tide ebbs and flows. You have high tide and low tide. So it's understanding that within life you have high times and low times, but you can still be on the boat balance, going within or without. So it's understanding how to use that lunar energy while it's in Sagittarius, because Sagittarians are usually adventurous. But it's just, if you choose to go on a journey is persisting in it and continuing the journey and not giving up. That's what this card's about. Any questions? Okay. All right, so now I like to now see what Waite says about the Nine of Wands. So we could understand what the author, or he really wasn't the artist, but he was the brains behind the operation of this deck, right? So he says in the pictorial key to the tarot, he describes the Nine of Wands as a card of resilience, perseverance, and strength in adversity. So now it's just strength in adversity. Now it's like going through a journey but having adversity, having things that are trying to stop you from reaching your goal or reaching your destination. He emphasizes the following themes. So the card represents preparedness, defense, and vigilance. It signifies someone who has faced challenges and difficulties but stands ready to face what comes next. The figure in the card is described as being wounded but resolute. So that's why that Nike headband he had on was really because he was in battle. If you ever see those old things of people with crutches and they came from a war, they always show like it's like a bandage, right? What happened? Yeah. Where do you think Nike got the idea from? Yeah. So it signifies someone who has faced challenges and difficulties but stands ready to face what comes next. So holding a staff and looking over their shoulder, right? This reflects a sense of caution and readiness shaped by past experiences. Meaning, sometimes, it's like the fool. The fool carries light because you have to carry some of the stuff from your past, but to help you to navigate through whatever you're going through now. You shouldn't carry too much baggage. That's why the fool carries light, because you want to be adventurous, right? But you want to use that to help you when you're going through adversity in the present moment. Keywords, according to Waite, are strength in opposition, recovery, ongoing struggle, and discipline. Reverse meaning. Waite interprets the reverse position as weakness, hesitation, or loss of courage. So if you're doing a reading and you're now using reversals, this would be opposite, meaning someone's losing courage, or maybe they're not really facing adversity right now, or maybe in the future it's showing that based on their question, they're not addressing it the right way that's going to help them to overcome it. Nine of Wands embodies a spirit of persistence, resilience, and the readiness to face the final challenge before ultimate victory. Any questions on Waite's interpretation? Because the next one's even better.
I liked it. It definitely gave a better understanding of the card. I feel like
right.
All that, yeah.
Because I think we could all relate to this card. I don't know about you. I could relate to, going through stuff, right, in the past, different situations, different relationships, right, different experiences where you should have it help you to define your character into someone that could be maybe sometimes more stoic during situations, or not letting it get the best of them, right? So I think this card is also about maybe balancing your experiences and your emotions in the present moment when you're going through something. That's what I'm getting from it. But let's go to Crowley. Let's see what he says about it. All right. So he has a lot to say. So obviously his card is a little different, and in a couple next slides I'll show you the Thoth version of it. But he says that in the Book of Thoth, so basically that's a book, his last book that he wrote before he passed away was based on his tarot deck. Okay? So the Nine of Wands is titled Strength in his cards, in his deck. So it is associated with spiritual resilience, inner power, and discipline. So the astrological association with the card, according to Crowley, would be the card represents the energy of the moon in Sagittarius, combining adaptable and intuitive qualities of the moon with Sagittarius' fiery determination and focus on higher ideals. So I figure he goes a little more in depth than Waite with the card. And he says that he views the Nine of Wands as a card of spiritual strength and mastery. indicating the ability to withstand adversity through inner power and balance. It signifies stability, patience, and perseverance, often after a period of struggle. And he also says the wands are ordered and upright, okay, reflecting structure and discipline, while their fiery nature emphasizes the strength derived from spiritual and creative forces. Keywords: he has strength, stability, resilience, readiness, and spiritual discipline. What does readiness mean to you guys, to anyone?
Readiness?
Yeah, what does that mean, readiness?
I'd say being prepared.
Being prepared.
Spiritual readiness.
Let's go back to it. Let's see. Keywords for Crowley's depiction of the Nine of Wands is strength, stability, resilience, readiness, and spiritual discipline. So maybe readiness being fully equipped, right? Having all...
Determined, so it's like no matter what obstacles you come across, you are going to follow through regardless of that. That's what it means to be good.
Okay, yeah. So that's what... Okay, what else? What else does readiness mean to you guys? Or what does spiritual discipline mean? How do you have spiritual discipline?
I mean, I'll answer.
Oh, no, anyone can answer, yeah.
In my interpretation, spiritual discipline is being consistent with whatever practice you engage on.
Okay.
Not making excuses, just seeing the target and doing the work.
I like that too, because Archer, seeing a target.
Yeah.
So, okay. Using that Sagittarius energy to see the target.
Kind of pull back. You may have to go within, you may have to, stay home some nights, study, again, pull back the
I see, yeah, okay, yeah.
kind of not hang out with your friends so much and just kind of go back to go forward.
I like that. Okay. Anyone else? That's very good.
I'm also thinking like staying true to your core beliefs and values, even
I like that
when
too.
you're going through certain trials and tribulations that might test your faith.
But can core beliefs change? Like, I could believe that, something is the right way of doing it, but then
Like,
it could, let's just try to comprehend that.
like if you have a practice
Mhm.
and if things aren't going your way in the moment, it's
Okay.
also continuing to be consistent and having faith in that, even when things are rough.
Okay, so meaning the strength within is fortified when you're consistent through any trial or tribulation. So like no matter what, you're feeling down and you have this special meditation you do every day, and you might not feel like doing it because you're going through other stuff personally, but just pushing through and doing it. Is that what you kind of maybe?
Yeah, and believing that it will work for you, even if
I like-
you can't
okay.
see it right now. Because some people, they might have to see it to believe it, but it's having that faith and trust before it fully manifests in the physical,
Like that.
I like that. So, but could you also gain the skill to create proper images, right? So that's what I think about manifestations about. Sometimes people, say they want to meditate and manifest money, but you have to envision yourself in the future. Like, what does your future self look like with that abundance? Like, what are you doing with it? What can you go that far ahead to bring that version of you closer together? Okay, so now let's look at the reverse or negative aspects, according to Crowley, is cautions against over-discipline, right? Here we go. Over-discipline or rigidity, right? Which may stifle growth or lead to exhaustion. So sometimes you could, you have such strong beliefs, and this is the way, I got all my crystals ready to go, and you're doing this, and like you had to get to work, but you're like, no, I have to do my meditation, and then you get to work late, consistently to the point where you get let go. So sometimes you could be a little overly disciplined. Nine of Wands in Crowley's system highlights endurance and fortitude to remain steadfast, a balanced and refined expression of spiritual willpower amidst challenges. So to stay steadfast, to stay persevering, but not to be overly disciplined. So that comes to the balance part of, I think, within every card and within every aspect of our lives. So now we get to the fun part of the class, is the hot seat. All right, so before...
I've been having fun the whole time. So
What happened?
I said I've been having fun the whole time.
Great. Okay, great. So before we dive into that, I like to always put different variations of the card. So now we could understand, when Crowley was explaining his interpretation of this card, this is his card, the version of it. So you kind of see different versions. So this is Waite's version, which it's really hard to tell the moon, anything, right? But with Crowley's deck, he literally has the moon right there. He has the moon above Sagittarius. So and then he wrote strength here. That's his name for the card, which is interesting because...
He names all his cards in the Tote deck?
Yeah.
For the most part. There's some cards that don't have a name, but...
That's weird that he does name strength in there,
But think about it. Think about the energy we just talked about. To have discipline through adversity, to overcome stuff, it takes strength. It takes fortitude, right?
Wow, look at the middle too. It's the Lima symbol in the middle.
Where? Which one?
All the way to the left. Look at the middle, the very middle of the...
Over here? Ah, okay.
You see it?
Yeah. It's over here, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's pretty wild. It's also this square and compass as well.
There's a lot going there. Then there's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a 9. A 9-sided star right behind it in the background. Yeah. Crescent moons everywhere. But then the weird thing to me is, why is the sun there? Does anyone know why the sun's there above?
Oh, the sun and the moon.
I guess it's also to represent balance.
Fire or Sagittarius.
Feminine and masculine.
Well, something more less esoteric, more exoteric.
It's hot.
The moon doesn't have light. The moon gets its light from the sun. So the moon, so the moon is just, the moon doesn't at night there's moonlight. It's only reflective light. That's why the moon's about reflecting, right? Going within. It's reflecting from the sun. That's the only reason why it's light up. The moon doesn't have any light of itself. It doesn't light itself up. It gets lit from the sun. And then that
charges up kind of during the day? Is that what happens?
Think about this, ready? Okay, no, ready? All right, a mirror.
It goes behind it, right?
So since we're here and where we're at, the sun's over here, so it's morning there, but it's night here. The sun is still bouncing off the moon, which is a mirror.
Gotcha.
And that reflective light is what we're seeing at night.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The next card is Maldonado version. He's also in that order. This is more of a modern one that, I always like to show. This is more of a ceremonial magic deck. He has the moon there. Similar. He's got the sun behind it to show that the sun is what impregnates the moon or gives off the reflecting light. His wands are pretty similar to these wands, right? Yeah. It's more, kind of looks more traditional. And then he also shows Luna in Sagittarius. Obviously, Luna is Latin for the moon. And then he has 2 sigils of angels, that connect to this energetic energy with Luna and Sagittarius, which you could use if you were doing a working.
Yeah, if you showed me that card, I would, right away, be Sagittarius.
Right here?
Yeah.
How so? Because it says it right here? Oh, okay, good. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, it's also, wow, okay, I like that.
It's just green, so with the sun in the middle, behind the moon, essentially. Is that what that is? The yellow in the middle is the sun
Yep.
behind the moon?
Yeah, it's this same thing, but he's taking it like this, right?
Right.
And making it, where he's like trying to show you something. He's like, look, this is what lights this. What happened?
His like pictures are always so. They just hit differently.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. The background is all dark, right?
Yeah.
This one, the background is lights. This could be like a daytime maybe.
It's crazy how they all say strength too. I never would have thought that.
But we have to go back to like this type of what this energy means. This energy is going through, difficult times, and you're persevering. You're still going. You've been through a war and you're still working.
Right.
You're injured and you're still going.
Right. Is that maybe what the red on his face is? Is it like he's like injured, like blood? It could be like beaten up, like could have got in war, battle, wounds. Because his face is red for a reason.
Yeah. It could mean that. It could mean that. He could be blushing too.
Up,
It could be that. And then you get this one. This is the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn deck for the actual order, the modern order. And I mean, you got the wands there. This is actually their wand within the order. That's like they make wands, and that's what their wands look like. And you have the moon and Sagittarius symbol. And then you look, it's funny you said before, look, you have two apex up triangles. So it's like shows like a double fiery like energy behind it. And you got a couple of green hands.
Yeah, it's weird. What
what's that?
what does that mean?
Well, if anyone remembers from last class, it's based off an Egyptian god.
Oh yeah.
Does anyone know which Egyptian god? It's green?
Little Cyrus?
Osiris. And that's it. Thank you guys. What? Yeah. All right, who's ready to go in the hot seat?
I think Briggs said he was down.
No.
Or maybe
It's like Kristen.
maybe Kristen, first time?
No? At some point, yeah.
I'll go at some point if nobody goes.
I'll go first if no one wants to go first.
Okay.
No, I was just thinking. Sometimes you don't have to respond right away, right? You have to think, reflect, connecting to the lunar energy that's within.
Kristen or Briggs doesn't have a question that they're just in their heads that they'd like to answer.
Kristen just doesn't want to sit in front of everybody.
But you can do it here if you want. You don't have to. It's just you don't have to say anything.
That's the part I didn't like about when you did the first one. You don't have a question. I don't like that.
You don't have any questions?
Yeah. So okay, with tarot too, you don't always need a question. Sometimes you could use it for inspiration, for creativity.
There you go.
Leave it open and just see what comes through for you.
Yeah, like meaning we just pull the cards, and it also gives us practice to learn how to read the cards as well.
Right.
But anyone who wants to go on the hot seat, you could go. If you're already here, you could stay there, right? Okay, good, simple. Let's do it. All right. What deck would you like to use?
Those two? Oh, okay.
I was joking. No, I'm not going to use that deck.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, so you could think of a question or not, and we'll get these cards ready for you. Let's see if I could shuffle them the way Briggs taught me.
No judgment over here.
Don't judge me. I'm not a shuffler. I got small hands.
Yeah, they're-
Like
yeah,
that. You just have to-
I got big hands, so I can
I got small hands.
Me too.
And sometimes I don't like shuffling because then you get a lot of reverses too.
But we don't take reversals, no?
Yeah, no, exactly. But I'm just. Let's see. Nope. I need bigger hands.
Just visualize it. Your hands are big.
All right, hold on.
happened.
Okay.
Okay.
How many cards are you doing? 3 or 4?
4.
Okay.
Okay.
Why'd you point? Why'd you do that? Oh, the bowl?
Okay, so we have 4 cards for her. First card is the Fool. Second card is the Ten of Wands, which he spells out as oppression. The third card is the Prince of Dis, or Pentacles. And then the fourth card is Lust, or the traditional card would be Strength. But in his deck, he calls it Lust. So we need some volunteers to come up and do a reading for her.
Charging my spiritual.
Good, very good, very good, very good. Good, spiritual endurance, spiritual discipline right there. Very good, very good. All right, so listen, the Fool shows her, and the first card shows it's a journey, right? There's a journey going on right now, like you're starting off a journey. It shows some oppression because that's Saturn in Sagittarius, so Saturn is restriction. So the journey is starting. There's some restriction there, some oppression. But with restriction and oppression, it molds and creates new forms. And then the next part of your journey shows the Prince of Dis. So now this is a card that shows a mastery of a type of energy. And I tapped it because to me it showed like mastery of your sun signs energy, like the Taurus energy, like kind of mastering what that energy embodies and what it means. And then the last card of this story is the Lust card, or maybe like, usually it's a Strength card, but this is connecting to that Leo energy, but that raw creative energy, without inhibition, just creating and ruling over the beast nature. So she's subdued it, and she's basically holding creation. That's the similar here. So it's like she's holding the power of creation. So it's a new journey. There's going to be some oppression. There's going to be some restriction, but that restriction is going to mold you into this new form that's going to give you the ability to master yourself, right, and your sun signs energy, and then that journey will end with you fully subduing that raw animalistic energy and then creating whatever you choose to create.
Wow.
I'm here every Wednesday, okay? All right. Anyone else want to take a stab at it? Oh, you do? Okay. All right. Come right up. Oh, what do you get? Like, because what's your we usually don't work with these cards, right? So, what do they tell you?
Well,
And it could be general. It doesn't have to be out.
like
Okay.
basically like the outcome of
Okay.
a certain situation, or I guess like connection, but like within like a certain time frame. So I'm trying to put it in that context,
So you asked for what was again?
like a future outcome of a situation.
Oh, okay.
Seems, yeah,
Huh?
it seems accurate.
I'm done.
It does.
No.
You know what the question? You know what
I
like?
have a
Yeah.
general
What do you
consensus.
think? Since you feel like you know what the question
He
is.
kind of, I feel like Jonathan nailed it.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Okay.
Wow. All right. All right. Who's next? Who wants to go on the hot seat next?
I'll go.
Imagining my hands get bigger. Okay.
Look at that. First shot. I feel like they just grew a little bit.
There's a possibility, right?
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. It's all love and light. And unicorns. All right, so you're thinking of a question, okay? I'll let you choose. Do you want 3 cards or 4?
4, please.
Okay.
Is that sit down?
That's fine. Yeah, I'll flip it over. Okay. All right, first card shows the 5 of Wands, strife. Second card is 6 of Swords, so that's science. Interesting. Next one is a 5 of Discs, worry. And the last one is the Moon. All right, so we have any volunteers to come up and read these cards?
You can block it eyes on you.
You want to try it?
I don't know this
It's-
deck at all.
You don't need to even know it. That's the beauty of it. Just it's really going within your intuition. It's like you just look at it. You can look at it. You can look at the words. You know, and just and keywords. It says strife. So what is strife? What is strife?
It's strife.
What is it? No, yeah, but I'm saying it's like you could just understand what strife is, right? And then use that to
Are we doing it
start the story.
by card or just like one person does it?
No, just you could. I like just do just tell a story. Do all 4 cards.
Did you want to? No. Okay. certain conflicts that you were dealing with in the past with maybe certain relationships in your life, but it's moved into, you moved forward from it into calmer waters, but there was some sort of loss that you felt from this. But this entire situation, you know, like this conflict and the process of moving forward and feeling that loss, because normally when something leaves, it makes space for something new to come in, but it's also unlocked something within your psyche that's helped you tap in more to your spiritual gifts and creative gifts, because those are, to me at least, they're like one and the same. So I feel like this was a very intentional, I don't know if that's the right word to use actually, but like everything that has occurred from this point up until now has been very significant for you to tap into certain gifts that you are cultivating right now. And it's unlocking something within you that's going to help. Like how I was saying, when something leaves, the absence of something is normally to make space for you to come in. So what you are unlocking within yourself right now, it's going to help you create what's going to fill in that space. But it's going to be intentional. It's not just going to be like things that come and go. I feel like it's something solid and stable, but you are creating it because you are being very intentional right now. So it's not, because sometimes when we are not like consciously thinking of what we want to manifest, we are always manifesting, right, with our thoughts and our feelings. But when you are more intentional about it, it's different. So I feel like that's what's happening right now. Like this entire process has led you to be much more intentional and realize how powerful you are at manifesting because you tapped into those natural gifts that you have. That's what I get from this. I don't know if that answers the question you have.
Very good. Wow.
Really
That was excellent. Anyone else want to try? I think you should try Briggs. Just look at it. He's like, nope. He's like, nope. Michael, the Archangel, I call upon you. Oh, Michael, I'm back.
You already summoned it.
I feel like DJ nailed it too.
She did good. All right.
How did you feel about that? Did that resonate with you?
I honestly like don't understand, to be honest.
You don't
like,
what? Go
No,
ahead.
no, no. I just like, it's not like I don't understand like what I'm seeing here.
You don't understand what you're seeing as far as like the pictures?
Yeah. No, like I guess just like the message. Like what you said did resonate in part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, like you said, conflict or strife. So, like,
That's 5 of Wands in that deck, right?
yeah,
Okay.
like because remember, always odd numbers are always like, seen as strife or unfavorable compared to like a 6. 6 would have been a more favorable card. So it shows like this, some conflict or strife, within this story, right? But then there's like, what's science? Science is about what? Is about like basically formulating something and then repeating it. So, but you do it to see if this is true. You do it to see if if it's real, if it makes sense, the plane's gonna stay in the air. It's like science, like understanding aerodynamics is science. Understanding how like there's universal laws that you're like learning to test and use. Because some work, some don't work. If they don't work, the plane doesn't stay in the air. So it's like understanding that, but then some worry here, just based on going by like what the card says, worry means like there's something within this story of where there's a party that's like worrying about something. There's something that's like weighing you down because the apex of the pentagram is down. So if the apex of a pentagram is usually down, that means it's like you're kind of like stuck in something opposed to the pentagram facing up. that's more like influence from the above. So this area of worry shows us something within, your story. All right, I see this as like a story. It could be of the 4 seasons of that's like a worry. There's an emotional something that's kind of like holding you back, in a way. That's what I'm sensing from it right now. And then the next card, the moon, like you said, going within, really, getting in touch with your inner guides, really. But this is it's like the scarab beetle, so that's Kether in Egyptian, and it's like Kether heading to the sun, meaning like you're trying to become more stable within the solar energy, because we're all like children of the sun in a way. So that's just showing me something of like balance in that chapter or in the next chapter. And the Hebrew letter too is actually the back of the head. And you know what this card connects to? Pisces. So so that's why I like his cards, because then he has like the symbols there. He has a lot more, so you can understand. This is Mercury and this is Mercury in Aquarius. So like, okay, there you go. Because sometimes Mercury, intellect, communication. Sometimes your mind can be telling you all these things, and it might be the wrong thing that's igniting those pain bodies of worry. That's preventing you from maybe being the full, abundant creator of your reality that you could be. Because sometimes worry drags us from seeing clearly. And that's Mercury in Taurus. So that's why it's apex down, because Taurus is an earth sign. It's more fixed on the material. But yeah, they're not easy cards, but it's good because that makes you kind of like dig deep and really trying to find where in my life is it connecting to, or how is it connecting to, or why is it connecting to. These are questions only you could ask yourself.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture.
Yeah, take a picture.
So I can look back at it.
Yeah, if you get the book too with his deck,
Yeah.
you got it's a lot of stuff. But further explains what he was trying to allude to, or how he saw this type of energy. Because remember, these cards are different energies. It's tapping into this type of energy.
I think both of what you guys said did resonate.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Did you ask a question?
yeah.
So you're putting it in like that context?
Mhm.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, because it's hard. Because sometimes asking like questions, if it's a question that you need a yes or no answer, it's really hard to get like a concrete yes or concrete no with like tarot sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a yes or no answer.
Good. So usually, they could give you some like guidance, or it could spark something for you, to look at it. So look at whatever you're going through, or question like a different way. Sometimes it helps you to do that, to kind of like, maybe you should look at it at this angle.
It does. Like, it makes sense. I'm just trying to like digest it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I'm sure Mike has forks here somewhere.
Speaking of digest.
All right, we can do one more reading. Then I want to get into the meditation, so we just kind of keep our time constraints here. We're respectful for everyone's time.
I'll jump in if nobody else wants to jump
Or in the hot seat?
Okay. Let me know.
You don't
I'm
want
gonna take her intermission.
you're the same thing. You just sit there and listen to everyone else. No.
Thanks so much.
I would.
Questions about life
Yeah.
than I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I like because with like anything, it's really good for you guys over there.
Briggs, you gonna go in the hot seat?
But like,
The videographer is camera shy.
It's true.
Actually.
oh my god, why do you guys do that?
That's why if you connect to the 9 of Wands energy, it's pushing through adversity.
Right. Right.
Mike, you want to go in the hot seat?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Come on down, brother.
Go, brother.
Does anybody else want to go? Everyone's good? All right.
How about you in the back there?
People in the back.
Stop picking your nose. All right. Good. All right. So,
What are you, Yogi?
just want to see something.
Well,
One,
some-
two.
Wow. Actual Yogi.
Let's do something outrageous.
Oh boy.
Outrageous.
I generally do have like a
Oh, shit.
serious question, so.
I thought it was gonna be an unserious question.
Nah, I have a
No,
question.
I wanted to pull like a lot more cards. Like, let's just go like with it.
Okay.
We're doing a Celtics spread.
It's like 16 cards.
No. I was thinking we could do 9 because 9 of Wands.
Nah.
Oh. 9
Sure.
cards?
Am I going to
You're
get a
gonna need more
definitive
room. Do you want
answer
another-
that way?
I'm just
Or
saying.
more
Oh,
precise?
Do you want another brownie?
We could probably do 8 because it's even number. 8, you like 8's infinity symbol, right?
Thanks for asking.
What would you like?
I'll keep it consistent and do 4 like everybody. Just to get it more like precise.
So he doesn't really like to live on the wild side, but let's do it.
I'd be pulling 9 cards and I'd be rooting for myself, so.
Mike, okay, all right. So well, think of just go within.
I already had it over there, but I'll do it now.
All right, so don't go within.
Go with that.
Oh, fun check.
Keep going.
It was like 20 cards.
Alright.
That's so fun.
All right, so we got the 9 of Cups, happiness,
Okay.
the Ace of Discs, the Chariot, and the 7 of Discs, which he labels as failure. So, who would like to do a reading for him? All right, you inched up. Go ahead. You inched up. He inched
I'm just
up.
trying to see it. What is
That's good. This is good.
what is that second one?
Okay, this is Ace of Discs.
Oh, they're all. What's the Chariot's the only major arcana? What is that?
Very good. Yeah, exactly. This is the only major one, and this is connects to Cancer energy. Everything else are minors. This is Disc, 7 of Discs, which is Saturn in Taurus. You have the Ace of Discs, which represents like the manifested world and like Kabbalah. And then happiness is Jupiter in Pisces. So yeah, so just looking at it and understanding those energies behind the signs, what kind of story can you tell him?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. There's no wrong answer, but his life's questions depending on it. So just look at it at surface level. This story starts out with happiness. Looks pretty balanced. Looks pretty abundant right there.
Okay.
The story continues with the raw energy of this manifested realm, meaning that something you brought down, some idea has came forth in this manifested realm. Okay, something that you've been working at maybe for the past year. And then the Chariot shows the happiness, what you've been working on. The Chariot, you're victorious. It shows victory. It's shown me victory.
Through determination. Focus.
Through determination, balance of some opposites there, right? Subduing some some creatures below, and then the story in this section shows some failure. It shows some restricted Saturn energy, some restricted energy within Taurus energy. So, meaning it shows some restriction on maybe the Hierophant, aspect of your life, maybe, because that's what Taurus connects to. So sometimes people think of failure. It doesn't always mean failure when it comes to like monetary or always material stuff. But if you look deeper between the energies behind it, and that's also, it looks like it's a geomantic figure too as well. So a little deeper, but I think it's the goblin. That's what it is, like a gobble. Like it's like empty. So this like represents like a cup, but it's facing down.
It's a cool card.
Yeah, it's a little dark, right? But it's a Saturn energy, so it's just showing. To me, it's showing there's some restriction on some aspects, on the aspect of you that's considered the Hierophant, that's ruled by Venus. So on that's what's just showing me something on there which he equates to failure. Just as a surface level, just kind of looking at it quickly. Does anyone else want to take a stab at it?
Don't look for your knife, your little knife.
We did see a knife there before. I thought someone was doing a banishing ritual or something.
It was
It's
me.
like,
I was
okay, all right.
banishing the brownies. Let's see.
So can I chime in? Actually, I'll wait till I'm done.
Just trying to.
Go ahead.
Such an Aquarius.
Well, I agree with everything you're saying, but also like balance, and then this card relates to Taurus. Taurus makes me think of like enjoying, I guess, more earthly things, like food, or like Venus, like your friendships, relationships in your life. So having balance in that aspect as well. But the Chariot, it's like you are gonna be successful with your endeavors because you have that focus, that determination, and that balance. But it's also, once you get there, like you want to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Maybe that means something. I don't know.
My record label.
Yeah. The fruits of your labor as well, and like actually be in the moment too. Because this whole journey is something to be enjoyed as well, So maybe that's what that balance is about too. But also the Hierophant is about, like spirit, like tapping into your spirituality. Right?
Yeah, Hierophant is someone that dispenses,
Not getting too lost in the sauce and remembering to like tap into that part of yourself too, because that could guide you as well, tell you like the next steps that you need to take. So, don't get too caught up in the material world. Remember to step back and take a second to regroup and tap into that energy so you know what steps to take moving forward, moving forward with the Hierophant. Like that could be that balance as well, as using your logical, strategic mind and then using your spiritual self to help, reach the success that you want.
That was good. Very good. What were you thinking? You said.
So it's funny. So when I initially went up, when I was thinking, going through all their like readings, I was like, all right, I have like a specific question in mind, and then this pull answers that question like to the T.
No way, really?
To the T.
Wow.
But then when I sat up here, I was like, no, I'm actually going to ask this question instead.
Okay. Oh.
You know what I mean? So it's like this. The question that I actually sat here for doesn't really resonate, but the first initial, my gut question, it like hits it on the head.
What does that tell you?
just go with the gut. And
Go with the gut.
This is probably, that's the answer for the initial question.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then this also like resonated a lot with like Dee said about, you know, like the chariot and stuff.
Anything stick out to you the most?
A certain situation that I had a question about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which card sticks out to you? Like, which card?
These two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the ace, is that Ace of Pentacles?
Mhm.
Ace of Discs,
The
yeah.
last card?
Yeah, like literally like nail on the head.
Seven of Pentacles is also about like hard work and like dedication, right? So
Yeah, but according to him, he says it's failure.
This is Pentacles?
well,
Disc, yeah,
It's
Disc of
maybe-
Pentacles. He calls it Disc, yeah.
Interesting.
it's making me go back to the Chariot card where, you know, like having that balance. Because sometimes when you work too hard, you're actually not being productive, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because then you don't.
That actually changes everything. I thought that was.
That's how I was looking at
Not
these three
necessarily.
cards. Like if we only did a 3-card pull, I
Mhm.
think the first 3 tell a good story in themselves, and then the
Yeah.
4th card is kind of like an outlier in
Yeah.
in
I
this.
can
Like
see that.
I almost get like a much more like ethereal vibe from the first 3.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
4th one is, you know, in Taurus, it's more like earthly and connected to
Right. Yes.
almost like your failure would be somewhere down here. Like everything looks like it's going well until
Mhm.
you kind of get down to like the Malkuth area, and there's like something that's like stifling
Not
your,
working out,
your like
yeah.
spiritual.
I-
That makes
It's not
sense.
what you expect. It's your subconscious.
That's Rubius too. I found out that's the geomancy is like another form of divination we could use, and that symbol is actually for Rubius, which is Scorpio, and it's like it's almost one of the worst figures to get in like in a geomancy reading, because then it tells people to say you have to just like destroy it because it's unfavorable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a goblet turned over.
You're fucked. basically.
But sometimes, remember, it doesn't. You can't always say. You can't always say it's. It can't always be like directly like, you know. It has to do like with. It could be like emptying out something. You know, it could be maybe teaching maybe to not to pour yourself out or too much or not, or to know which cups to empty out or something. Yeah, there's a lot of.
No, it honestly really resonates. Like my initial gut question is like to the T.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what it is for.
Everything's going well
Yeah.
until like here, and then right here is when
Once you get
Gary
to the
decided
last
not to
card,
bring
you
her to the lodge, and then everything got fucked up. We will not accept your comment.
It's like, nope, you're stuck here. You're Malkuth.
Remember, Chariot too also, guys, represents your personality,
What?
because the Chariot is also Cancer, which is the crab, and it also represents, you know, kind of getting in touch with the true person, not getting stuck in the personality that you give out, and kind of getting in touch with your true self. All right, great.
Thank you, guys.
No problem.
That's great.
You ready now?
No.
Okay.
My cell phone later.
No
I
problem.
want to buy this top deck though.
It's good,
No,
yeah.
no,
Get the
no,
book.
no, the other one.
Get the book too. Yeah. All right, cool.
That's it for the class part, right?
Yeah, next thing we're gonna do is the meditation. If you want to record the meditation, it's up to you. Sometimes I record it, sometimes